Welcome to the world is your bowl of noodles, slurp noodles, and chat. I'm the host, Jordan Ibukwe, and today my guest is Jaden Drake, the founder and owner of J. Chris Cookie Studio, a bakery, and I hope you link in, tune in, like, and subscribe. And just check us out on YouTube, The World is Your Bowl of Noodles, and Instagram, and go check out Jay as well as his bakery on Instagram, J. Chris Cookie Studio. And I hope you enjoy this episode and stay tuned for more. All right, Jay, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you do?
Okay, so a little bit about me is 19 years old, college dropout. Dropped out last year, which a lot of people don't know. Actually had a baking business before this. It's called Delights of J. Chris. Then prior to that was Chris Delights, which started in high school. A little bit of a backstory. A lot of people don't know. I actually got started because of a girl who at that school was actually selling edibles. And what I did was, with her selling the Rice Krispies and as edibles, what did I do? I decided to just sell them regularly as just regular Fruity Pebble Rice Krispie treats. And she told me the way she did it. She just said that she just sold it and had no issue with it, no conflict with nobody, and she didn't get in trouble for some reason. To this day, she's still doing her thing. All glory to God, all glory to her. I don't even know how she managed it, but I pray that everything she's like still going good with her. But with me, it was just a matter of trying to figure out how can I provide a service that I know that can make others happy, and then again still give them a fair price. Mind you, these
Understandable.
are high school students. But prior
Yeah.
to that, me starting the desserts, it was snacks. Used to sell snacks in high school, making around 2.5K to 3K a month off of just selling snacks alone. But walking into the world of baking and knowing when it comes to food, baking, mixing drinks, something I've been doing since the age of 5, 6, 7, one of those ages, is risk. You're gonna lose a lot
Yeah.
of money and you're gonna go through a process where it's just trying to understand where you lie at. So
Right.
yeah, so that's just a little bit about me. I can get in more into the part about me dropping out of college because that really leads into how I started J. Chris Cookie Studio, especially
Mhm.
down once you start like asking me the questions that you have.
I would definitely in high school, being that I am in one,
Yeah,
I feel like snacks is a major thing in the
real.
whole school. Anyone who has snacks
Yeah,
is a plug. That's what we call them. Like, you got a plug with you because, like, I
exactly,
just know, like, my
exactly.
snack buddy, they got me. But, like, I would like to touch on that too, you dropping out, and as well as, like, how you started baking at 5 years old because you
Yeah,
telling me that it clearly shows that baking has been a part of your life for a very long time.
yeah.
It's a
Baking,
piece of you.
cooking, making drinks,
Yeah.
just experimenting with a lot. I think that definitely has a lot to play in with me knowing that I have ADHD, but not diagnosed with it because I'm able to come up with so many different creative ideas and just things that are not of the ordinary. And especially with me just always doing so much all at once, then again, still staying to myself with it, it really just separated me from everybody else and separated me from an environment that God had put me in to be able to focus on my goals, my dreams, and my aspirations, which was becoming successful within my life, knowing that everything that I do right now is going to play a big part in my future. So really, all of this stuff that I've been doing since the age of 5, the age of 6, is really just to prepare life better for my family and my kids, my wife, because I don't want to miss not one moment. I should be able to know that money coming in and not even have to worry about me having to go to work. And I can just be there for every moment, support their dreams and goals. That's why I'm sacrificing all this time now. So I really believe like it's just been inside of me. I just know that this gift of baking and cooking and all of these things have just been inside of me since a young age. Learned everything
Right.
from my grandma, the main source. You can't go wrong. Can never go
Can
wrong.
go.
Yeah. So just watching her growing up, watching my parents cook, watching my my uncles, my grandfather. They all had their different ways of cooking, and I decided to mix all of those ways and put it into my own style of cooking, my own style of baking. Um, my grandma really did play a big part because of the fact that she always used to make desserts. My favorite personally was coconut cake. She used to make those from scratch. Coconut cake, cookies, pies, um, whatever you can literally name it. Like she used to do it all. But fun fact about her, she hated making desserts. And I just found that out. Like I found that out. Like I think like a couple, literally last like 2 months ago, I found that out. My granddad finally told me like she hated desserts, like making them personally. But when it came to food, she used to throw down, and that's where I learned the gift of making food from. So it's from everywhere. I just learned how to just create it my own way.
Trust me, I feel like if she didn't like baking, she just made it out of love. Just like
Yeah,
even
like
the point,
that's real. Yeah, yeah, she
right? Like,
did. She did. Definitely. Definitely.
yeah.
She always made it out of love. Like I I can recall like she gave me before she passed away, she gave me her recipe book. I look in the book for one of the cake recipes. It just says if you know the recipe, you know it. If you don't, that's on you. That's what she wrote. So it's just the fact like that like everything that she's made is just pure out of just the kindness of her heart. And that's what I took with me
Mhm.
when it came to applying this to J. Chris Cookie Studio, which people know of now today. So a lot of it just it's I don't even know how to explain it. I'm just still trying to figure it out for myself, understand it more, grow every day, trying to have a better understanding of where God is trying to put me in right now. So
Knowing that you are a faith-based bakery, which amen to that. I love people who include their faith in
yeah,
what they do. I
yeah.
wanted to know, how has your faith influenced your journey in baking, and how do you see God's presence in your baking process?
All right, yeah, started in college. We start there. Started in college. So around this time is when was it? Like September, October 2023 at VCU. Um Lights of J. Chris going on. So me thinking I'm so great. So all of this, like I allowed the pride, I allowed the greed, I allowed me to have a not a love for it no more. Just straight, just trying to just make my bread go on, make my money trying to go on. Just not worried about that much for real. I'm just making the desserts just so I can make a profit, right?
Right.
Didn't realize that was greed. Didn't realize that was just pride. I allowed so much pride and greed to take over. I lost the connection for baking and just did it out of the spite of me trying to make a profit and trying to just make what revenue so I can just keep saving. I didn't do it because I loved it anymore. And it was actually off of a conversation that I had with one of my cousins down in DC. He was like, Jay, you gotta remember that the gift that God has given you, you're either going to use it to profit off of or you're going to do it because you love it. And you have to figure out where you're at with this. He told me that. Kid you not, it's like November now. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, where am I at with this business? Realize, okay, this is out of greed, out of pride, out of spite. Like you're doing these for the wrong reasons, right? You're not trying to help anybody. You're just trying to help yourself. That was not the avenue I didn't realize I was taking, but in that moment, in that state of my life and in that season of my life, I realized that was the avenue I was going. Um, Fast forward, ended up closing the business down, making all the rest of the desserts I had, literally, and just going out to campus, passing them out, going to the homeless people, passing them out. That was the last time I ever touched a dessert, which was November 31st. Was the last time I ever wanted to do anything, deal with baking, nothing. I just wanted to stop it at like completely. I didn't want to bake anymore. And it wasn't until December 8th I realized that God was about to do something with my life. That was the day I dropped out. When I dropped out, when I got back home, I literally felt in my heart. It just sunk. I knew from that moment on, whatever God had planned for me, is something was going to happen. He was going to build me up. And once he built me up again, after me not listening, me doing all the things the wrong way, not doing what I was told to do, going trying to do it my own way, he made sure to humble me. And it humbled me a lot, caused me to just sit back with myself, get back into my journaling, get back into my thinking, get back on to just sitting outside, meditating on the word, meditating with him. All of it caused me to do that. Understanding who he was as an individual and regaining my consciousness with the relationship that we once had that I'm now thinking about I never had because I didn't realize how far I was until I got to this point in my life. Like it's crazy to see the process and see the progress of where I'm from back then in 2023 versus me now 2025. It's so insane. But
Telling you.
first time I noticed God's presence, especially when it came to baking, was actually because of my little cousin. We was working and I was working in Crocs, just figuring out how I'm about to like what like trying to ask God what is next for my life. my little cousin dropped some metal on my foot, which caused my toe to fracture. When my toe fractured, I was trying to figure out what am I going to do next. So I'm asking my dad, what type of businesses can I start? And he was like, man, you would be a great middleman. Like you can do a brokerage, you can do middleman work, you can do something like that. I said, okay. So what did I do? I went in my room that night, same time, like after coming from the hospital, figuring out my toe was fractured, and wrote down a couple businesses, brokerage, law firm, like different, like just any, like everything. But on the second thing I wrote, for some reason, something led me to just write in J. Chris Cookie Studio. I didn't think nothing of it. I just wrote it just because I was like, maybe I'll come back to baking. I don't know. And mind you, my first intentions was never to go with the cookie studio. I wanted to go with the brokerage or a firm. And for some reason, I started just planning my stuff with my firm and my brokerage, making all my Canva logos and everything like that. About to start my research. Out of nowhere, one day I'm sitting at Knox Coffee Shop and I'm just trying to figure out, you know what? Let's just make a logo for the business. Let's just see what happens. Next thing you know, I start making the J. Chris Cookie Studio logo. That logo then turns into me doing 6 months of planning. 6 months in planning starts turning into me doing events. Events starts turning into getting better at content, making better desserts. Now I'm literally sitting in one of the restaurants I work in right now because off the grace of God, he allowed me to get this connection to be able to work here and be able to use the kitchen and use literally certain ingredients in here that can help me now just be able to save a lot and also help me cut down my profit margins to be able to keep building my wealth because he doesn't want to see nothing but for me to win. So it's just crazy how one foot injury started a whole business. But is it really the foot injury or is it really God starting the journey of something new that he intended me to be on, you know? So,
I
yeah.
Yeah. I definitely connect with your story. When I came up with this podcast, I don't know, like me and my friend, we were doing something funny. We were saying, "Girl, let's do like," we were in the library with a recording button, voice memo. We said, "Let's just make like this funny like little skit, like we're in the podcast," and we called it
Yeah.
Slurp Noodles in Chat. I remind like just to get like Slurp News in chat. And so like I was like, that's a cool name. And so we were like doing it. She was like, what if we do a podcast? And I was like so scared. I was like, no, like people ain't gonna like it, podcasts don't really get enough attention. And then she was like, well, okay, we could try it. And then I went back home and I was like, you know what, God, if this is something that you want me to do, then let me pursue it. I prayed. I always pray about everything that I do because I
Yes.
believe that
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
God doing it for me. And so give it like maybe a day or two. I said, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I didn't really care at that point.
Yeah.
But later throughout the time, I didn't know what I wanted from it, but through more prayer and through more like resting in the word, as you said, and fasting as well, I learned what God wanted me to do with this podcast was to uplift young voices like you and individuals who are making a way and changing the game in the world. And it's so funny how that one idea, Slurp News and Chat, from just like us being playful, turns into a whole series of
Yeah.
me just recording these young, amazing young individuals like you and me and talking. And it's just like, wow, like this is only by the grace of God that I'm even doing this because I didn't even expect myself to be doing this. But even it's just like cool how God orders our steps in such
Yeah.
ways that we don't even expect it. But leading into that role of prayer as well, I am curious, like what role does prayer or reflection play in your baking routine, especially when you're crafting something like cookies?
Kid you not. It has this way of showing itself and it has this way of just I don't even know how to even answer that. Man. It's just so many different ways. And I wouldn't even say it's through prayer. It's me through meeting people. And just
Right.
I would say genuinely my biggest thing was for some reason God has his way with meeting homeless people. He already know every time he bring me across one, I'm a bless them. And for some reason, it's like it's almost like God is inside of them, and God needs to get a
Wow.
message to me from them. So He's going to use them to get a message to me. And you know what? I can actually use an example the other day that happened. So me and my girl, we were coming from DC, and it was around like 11:30 at night, and we just getting our little snacks. I'm trying to get gas and everything like that. Mind you, I have cookies in my bag from the previous day from which I did an event. I was going to take them up to DC and just like pass them out. I didn't do that, mind you. So we get up to the Wawa. I'm done getting gas. She getting her soup. She come back. I'm like, babe, like, what you need soup for? You got food? Like, we just came from a restaurant. She was like, I just wanted my soup. I said, okay. Next thing you know, I see a car in front of me. They helping this homeless dude, right? All I do, I look up, I say, God, and I just sigh. Cause it's like you already know what you're doing. You know how big my heart is. You already know what's about to happen. I look at her, I said, you know what's about to happen. She rolled down her window, give she gave him the soup. After she gave him the soup, I gave him money. After I gave him money, I said, hold on. Got out my car, went in my bag, took all the cookies I had left, and just handed it to him. And he looked at me and was just like, keep going. You like you got it. You almost there. And I said, man, I just hope you enjoy.
Wow.
That's it. So with that, it's like God has this way to like let's just say like I don't pray or I'm not praying over my business in a sense of right now. He's going to figure out how to make me pray. He always going to get me back to the point of me praying over this business. Because at the end of the day, I can't do this by myself. I be stressed nine
Amen.
times out of 10. I be tired 9 times out of 10. It's all of these things going on. And it's hard to manage sometimes. But with the woman that is in my life, fearing God woman, I got her, I got God, I got family, and I got myself that I got to keep like working on each and every day to just get myself better. And I'll be 100% transparent. Literally today, she told me, Jay, I feel like you put so much time into me and pouring into me. It has taken away from the time that you have to pour back into what you were meant here for your purpose and what God has put you here for. She told me that. And I was like, in my head, I'm just like very conflicted with myself. And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, nah, this ain't you speaking. This right here is God speaking through you to get to me to make me realize that it's time to get back on this path. And for her to still sit there and tell me, I understand what you have to do. I'm not leaving at all. You don't gotta worry about that. I just need you to focus and continue on this path that God has set you upon. Right then and there, I literally, once she got out that car, I broke into tears. I felt this anger within my heart and I had to release it. I screamed. I cried. I felt all of these emotions immediately while driving. I'm just sitting there, no music in my head, just talking to God, just let him know. Look, man, look, whatever I need to do, let me know. We got to get this right. We not letting up. But but genuinely, I just say that all to just say the way that I talk to God is it's like we're having a conversation.
Conversation.
It's
Yeah.
not more of me praying. It's more of a conversation because it's like I'm gonna say something, but then I gotta wait for an answer. I don't care how long I gotta wait for that answer. I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna keep praying. I'm gonna say my little prayers, but more of the so I'm really more on writing out my prayers because when I write out my prayers, they're more strategic. Not only strategic, I'm literally taking up my prayer with God. Like you see me writing it down. So it's really me just writing a document and bringing it up to you and see if you approve of it or not. You gonna either approve of it and you're gonna make it happen, you're gonna show action, or you're not gonna show action. And you just gonna make me go through something for this period of time because I decided to write something a certain way for me to actually go through the experience to realize that it wasn't needed in the first place. So
Amen.
yeah, we he be doing his thing. I be confused sometimes. I just be like, you know what? Here we go. Let's just do it. Let's get it done. You know.
No, I want to touch on two things because I
Okay.
really do
Of
stay
course.
strong on what you said about conversation with God. Me personally, I don't like, I feel like I've, for so long, I thought, what is a perfect like prayer routine with God? But sometimes
It's hard.
I come home,
Yeah.
I drop my bag on the floor and I just lay on my bed and I say, you know what, let's talk. And it's some, I've learned to grow with God. Like I feel like I'm
Yeah,
not trying to bash anyone, but like a lot of people they say, "Oh, I grew up in the church, I grew up in this and that," which is
yeah,
great. If you
yeah.
grew
That's
up in the
cool.
church, good. But like I feel like I've grown with God in my journey.
Yes,
And I feel
of
like when I
course.
had conversations with him, I'm talking to him like he's my friend. I'm not talking to him like
Yeah,
he's some you know,
exactly,
like he's far away. Like he's with me, next to me, sitting with me, like we're having a
exactly,
conversation. And sometimes I do get mad at God. Sometimes I say, you know what, God, I can't stand you sometimes. But that's the point of a relationship. You have to
exactly.
put your own opinions out there for the other person to understand what's going on. Even when God knows what's going on with us, He still wants us to
Yeah,
tell Him what we
for sure.
feel because He
Be a
loves
fair land.
having a conversation. And
Yes,
also, what you said about like keep going. Currently, right now, I'm trying to get my nonprofit running up because I feel like God has put it in my heart to start doing that more because I've always had
do
a
it,
dream of
do it,
helping people. And
do
I've
it.
already had the process. I've gotten people to help me with it, but it's just like I'm still
Let
stuck
me
in this
know.
area. But
Let me
like,
know.
I know what you said right now just
Yes,
touched my heart because when you said keep going, like you're almost there, I kind of felt that because I was like, wow, that really connect with me. Like, God is telling me from you just like keep going, bro, because like I literally feel like
yeah.
that's what I need to keep doing.
Shoot.
But
Yes, I done
wow,
had another
just
homeless person do the same thing again too. Just sitting there 2 a.m. in the morning, just sitting there praying with him, just giving him everything out my trunk. Told me I'm in the
right.
middle. I'm in the middle of prayer, crying. All I hear out the just a faint voice out of his mouth say, "I've never left you. I've always been here." That's all he said. I knew right then and there that was God speaking through him to get to me, to make me
Amen.
realize he's always been there. So it's I don't know, he got his way and I enjoy
He
it
got his way.
every
And
time.
I do want to address patience as well because I know in the journey, hey, patience is that one little thing we gotta deal with. It is
Hey,
so hard. But how how did you like maintain patience yet faith at the same time?
trial and error, going through so much, realizing that I wasn't as patient as like everybody knew I have never had great patience. And I promise you, it wasn't until I got baptized a couple weeks ago, God decided to bring that
Amen.
back up. He decided to bring it back up. There's no reason everybody in traffic should be braking like the way that they do. And it,
Right.
it just irritated the mess out of me. People in the stores walking slow, irritated the mess out of me. People just asking for too much irritated me so much. I'm at work. People just doing too much irritated me. Like it's just he just has this way of just exposing what's inside of our hearts and
Oh
just making
yeah.
you realize that it's still not healed. And it's our job to see it, find it, capture it, take it to him, and act on it. Like we have to act on it as quick as possible. But sometimes we can't because he needs us to go through our own process. That's why he always meets us where we're at. So it's never a race. It's never how quick can you get it done? How quick can you finish? How quick can you understand this lesson? You just got to go through it, and you got to be
Exactly.
willing to just take your time and understand that it's going to take patience and understanding because this is what you prayed for. This is what you asked for. Everything
Right.
I'm doing right now, this is what I asked for. I have no room to complain. The moment I complain, it's
You
gone
don't
like
have
that.
room to
It's
complain.
it's
Right.
gone. Like
Exactly.
it's the hardest thing to do. Because best believe I'll be in my room, be trying to pray, be trying to read the word, can't even do that. What do? I put my head right on that Bible and I tell God, I need revelation from you right now, man. And I need you to make this clear. I go to sleep for 5 minutes, wake up, feel like I didn't been asleep for a whole hour. Go straight into reading, go straight into praying, straight into worship. And it's just his way of getting back to me to make me realize, look, you can't do this without me. You're gonna see that. Each and every time. The days that I mess up, he's gonna show me that. And I have
Exactly.
yeah, so it's just really great the way that he just exposes himself to me in forms of like showing me ways that I need to be patient, especially within my heart. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know.
I
Like, shoot.
nah. I feel like with patience, it's also with people, cause I don't know that people we don't touch on it too much though, but like you gotta be patient with people who discourage you. Patient, and you have to even forgive those people who do discourage you, because even the Bible says, "Love thy neighbor as thy friend, and forgive thy enemy." Because if God can forgive us, then we can forgive them. That's what I always say. But it's hard because you have a dream, and then people discourage you for it. People make fun of you for it. You're like, God, when will it be my time when I can showcase your work and
That's
I
why you
can be
say
a
keep your mouth
bulletin
closed.
board?
But
Right? You just gotta keep your
yeah,
mouth shut.
yeah,
But
that's I
still,
learned that
like,
too.
the devil just be poking
Yeah,
us
he got his
over and
way.
over again,
He got his way.
tipping. God,
Yes.
it's just so much. But, like, by the grace of God, we can maintain patience and peace, and also self-control. I feel like a lot of
Yep.
times we have to learn how to keep things inside of us and be a little secret about our dreams, because not everybody got to know about it. When it come out, it'll come out. But
Yeah,
right
real.
now,
Right
keep it
now
hush
it's
hush.
closed. It's
Keep it
closed.
hush hush.
Yes.
What's one of the most meaningful moments you've experienced with customers or clients who received your cookies?
I is it okay if I give you two?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay. All right. So the first one, this one was around December, and I was doing this event, and mind you, I started doing like Bible verses on the back of them. And this particular day, I'm doing this event, and this lady, I was like, "Hey, did you want to buy one?" Because I seen her looking. I was like, I thought she was interested in buying one. She was like, "No, I can't really right now." I was like, "You know what? It's cool. Here, just gave her one just because. Like, I got about 50 to 100 cookies on my table. I'm not pressed about just giving one away. So I gave her one. Right as I gave her one, she walked away, and kid you not, she stormed right back in and started crying, hyperventilating. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong. I'm trying to figure out if is she sick? Like, did I kill her? Did she have an allergic reaction? I know I don't put peanuts in here because I'm allergic myself. Then she came to me. She was like, "You don't know how much this has helped me." Because I just literally had a car crash the day before. And with that, you literally, when I looked up this verse, it was literally the confirmation that I needed that everything will be okay within my life. And that everything that I prayed for is coming. That you are an answered prayer because of the fact that you wrote this up here. It was intended for me to see it. That was one. I sat there, I was
Amen.
starstruck. I was like, oh,
Wow.
I was like, wow, like, man, you done hit my heart. She gave me a hug and was just kept crying and walked out. I ain't never see that lady ever again. And I hope she's doing well. But the second
Amen.
one, this one, second one, this is definitely amazing. Really, how I met my future wife off of cookies. Met her literally, girl that I'm talking to right now. I know I'm gonna marry her, and I'm 100% for certain that I will. And this is just all about me just asking people to be in a video. And I was trying to just make a video. I don't know if you've seen on my page, but I just did like a little seminar of me just talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
what J. Chris Cookie Studio was, what the J. Chris Foundation is going to do, things like that. And she wanted to be in the video. So I said, okay, didn't think nothing of it. Dapped her up because I'm thinking she really just one of the homies, just trying to keep it all cool and cordial. God already told me, look, when it's your time, it's going to be your time. I'm going to bring you your wife. I'm going to make it present for you. You just keep doing what you're doing. Not that I come to find out off of me just having her there, couple weeks go down the line. I text her and started talking led into more active conversation. Conversation led into us meeting up. Meeting up led into us just coming closer with God together. That led to parks, just being out more, reading the Bible together, doing all these crazy things together. Just amazing overall. Her helping me with certain ideas for my business led into us actually dating. Not only that, this is a strong woman of God who got my back no matter what. And she always praying for me. Even when even when I had this situation, trying to get to an event, actually, I got pulled over and got a reckless driving speeding ticket, trying to make it to my sister event on time because I had to work all the way in East Little Creek and I had to speed all the way back to get back to Suffolk for this event that started exactly in 10 minutes. I was still late and it didn't matter. Court came around, had the court date. Literally everything she wrote in her prayer literally happened in that courtroom. And that was one of the toughest judges to get by, especially when it came to driving recklessly. And he allowed me to go. And not only that, I also found out that she had her whole prayer group pray over me too.
Amen.
So when she did that, that was my first confirmation of knowing, oh yeah, God about to do something. This ain't just no regular girl, no regular woman I just encountered. This is supposed to be my wife. Not only my wife, this is going to be the person that is going to help me build wealth and multiply on what I already have. So I'm genuinely here for it. And off of cookies, I can really say a relationship was started. Like it's crazy, and I'm here for it. I enjoy it so much, and I'm just blessed.
Yes. I'm just so glad that like you made a lot of relationships and found your future wife through just like the gift that God has given you, which is
Yeah, it's crazy.
amazing. Just
It's
shows how like
crazy.
even through one thing, God can do so many like things through
Exactly.
just one small
And that's
effect.
only two stories. I got about 100 stories on how my cookies have touched multiple people. Not even
Oh,
100, probably 1,000. Like it's no telling.
amen. That's
So
planting a seed in his
exactly.
kingdom.
That's all I do. I plant my seeds, forget about that I plant, forget about the seeds I planted. Then once it come up, it's just like, oh shoot, like, all right, man, it's here. You asked
Right.
for it. What you gonna do with it? And it's just confusing because it's like sometimes I don't know what to do with it because I forgot I planted the seed. But that's for something I can tell you later on because I actually talked about more in depth with other people about lost seeds that we forget about and
Hmm.
how those lost seeds lead to us self-sabotaging our blessings. When I was talking about this, it was really meant for me, and I was just having a conversation with somebody else about how I feel like I always self-sabotage myself. And when I was talking, I was telling them about like how we plant all of these seeds within our lives. Whether it's us praying to God about it, writing it down, we write it down, we talk to God about it, and we just forget about it, not knowing that we've already set the seed down to be planted. Then once it sprouts a little bit, you start forgetting. And once it starts happening, you start being like you start being skeptical about it. Cause we thinking it's too good to be true. Whole time you don't realize that this was a seed that you have planted and that you have just forgot about. So those forgotten seeds that we have within our mind and within our spirit, within our heart, within our flesh, within literally everything around us. It's so important to make sure that you remember those forgotten seeds because of the fact that those seeds may be the very seeds that may reach you to a higher standpoint that you have always wanted for your life. In the moment that you allow yourself to self-sabotage that seed, you damage something that wasn't supposed to be damaged. It's almost like you take that seed that you self-sabotage and rip out the root. Once you rip out the root, you can't replant it. You gotta literally plant a new seed and wait until the root starts sprouting. Then the flower can grow. But it's so important to always remember to keep that rooted seed that you have forgot about and figure out how you can use it and realize that it's not supposed to be self-sabotage. It's supposed to be used as a blessing and something that you asked for from God. Now God is exposing it to you. You must be grateful for it and you must be fruitful with that plant that you have already planted and be able to realize that it's time for you to multiply that within that season because now is that time for that plant to be able to grow fully within the season. Because you may have
Amen.
good seasons, you may have bad seasons, but you will never not go without a season. Some of my plants are definitely not growing until next month or the month after next. But I guarantee you, it's literally seeds from a year ago starting to grant, like plant now. And they starting to sprout a lot. And they're starting to fulfill its final form now, which is so insane to me. Perfect example. I wrote to my son, because I don't have a son yet. Let's just clear that up. I don't, but I'm writing a whole bunch of I have these journals for my kids once they do come. So for my son, last year, 2024, around March, I wrote to my son. I said, son, I haven't found your mom yet, but just know during this year, 2024, 2025, I'm going to find your mom. This is going to be my wife. What happened? I found this woman. Now this woman is she's going to be my wife. She's going to be the woman that I marry. And I told myself that at 18. I said, when I'm 19 years old, I'm going to find your mother. It's stuff like that that don't come up till a year later. Me telling myself by 2025, literally said this last year when I was doing all that planning stuff back in March. 2025, J. Chris Cookie Studio is going to have a breakthrough year. What happened? Having a breakthrough year. It's all of these things that we forget about, but it's our job to try to go back and backtrack on what we have prayed for and what we have asked for, and not self-sabotage it. So yeah,
Amen.
it's really deep. Like it's
It's
beyond deep.
really true. I would
Yeah.
also like to know, what is your favorite Bible passage? Because my favorite one is Jeremiah 29:11, when God says, "For I know the plans I have for you, the plans to prosper and for you to succeed." I carry that everywhere I go. Even with, I think one time I wrote it on my vision board, and I said this is a quote that I know that I really
Yeah.
like. And it's just followed me all over. Follow me on, it's just everywhere I see. I always see that quote, and I just know that's my favorite one. So I want to know, what is yours?
I really I'm not the type to remember Bible verses. I only remember the chapters. So with me, I can really tell you my favorite chapter overall is Ecclesiastes. I love that chapter so much because it speaks on so many things that I go through, especially with me trying to be successful, all the trial and errors. It speaks on so many different topics like trial and error, um, how to deal with stress, anxiety, anger, happiness, how to deal with money, the principles of how to do a business, always to rejoice in your youth. Like it has all of these things that are just inside of Ecclesiastics. And I'm so blessed to be able to find that. When I found that book, I started reading it. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be something I read every time. But
Amen.
more than so of just me just trying to understand and just be able to just strengthen my knowledge of knowing what is being said. Because it's hard for me. I know for me, I like it takes me a couple times. Like for me to understand a verse, I have to read it multiple, like at least 100 times.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to remember. Like I'm keeping it real with you. I'm not going to remember it off the bat. But if
Right.
I'm to read it 100 times, I will know what it is, and I will 100% have an answer for you. But as of
Amen.
now, I can really just tell you what my favorite chapter is because of the fact like this chapter has probably changed my life. Like I'm rereading this chapter right now, and
Amen.
I just have a different viewpoint from it, and it's just insane to realize that how much of Solomon has went through with him having wealth is crazy. Because then it makes me think about me and who I am. It makes me sometimes question: am I like a descendant of this man? Sometimes am I kind of like where did because something is not adding up. And it makes me question because I feel like I have certain characteristics as him. And when reading it, it's like easier for me to relate to what he's saying because of the fact it's like I done been through all of this already.
Right.
Now it's just me rereading myself, but from a different standpoint from somebody else who lived over 5,000, 10,000 years ago. One of the richest men ever, probably richer than this whole earth that we live on right now. So rich, and it's just crazy. And sometimes I always wonder, maybe I'm supposed to find myself in this type of situation, but do it the right way. Listen the first time. Don't disobey what God has already set in stone for you, and be obedient to what He has for you to come. That's
Amen.
that's how I take it. If I'm being 100% honest with you.
Trust me. My favorite chapter, well, I have two favorite chapters, is Ephesians. Ephesians, I love that chapter. It's just very expressive, and it just tells you a lot about God's love. Well, maybe actually I have three: Ephesians, okay. Ephesians teaches you about the knowledge of God, to what I
Yeah.
think, and then Romans teaches you about the love of God, because there's one verse in there that says, like, no demon, no nothing, this and that can separate you from the love of God. And I just like to say, wow, like that's so
Yeah,
deep. And then like my other one, I love Exodus because it tells the story about the Egyptians and how Moses parted the Red Sea. And I know like it's a common like chapter, but once you like really read it and how long the Israelites stayed in the
ma'am.
desert,
Yes.
it's kind of like telling you like, hey, like God got you. It's just that don't mess up unless he's gonna like,
Yeah.
push it a little bit. But it teaches you like how patient they had to be
Yes.
to get to their
See,
promised land.
I know especially with me, what I'm doing now, when I read this Bible now, I don't just read it. I literally like the way that I read right now, literally, I'm not lying to you. I read one verse and I gotta sit there and analyze that one verse. Until I analyze that one verse, I can't move on. So I'm
Mm-mm.
I'm trying to understand literally every single detail. And I did it with John. Like I'm still reading John.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'm
John.
I'm I'm everywhere. So I'm rereading John. And it's just like, yo, like this is crazy. So you tell it like it had me at one point trying to question if John was the one writing the book because it was so crazy. Like because at the beginning it was just like now you got John speaking, but who is speaking? How is John speaking? But he's not writing, but he's talking to the Jews at the same time. Who is writing this book? Is it someone there just listening to John speak, or is it John writing a book as he's talking to
It's
the Jew? It's just so many things that just had like I had so many different questions. To this day, I still got questions, but as I continue to read, it starts to make sense. So it's I'm trying to understand the Bible from a different standpoint, especially in a deeper root text. Like one of my
yeah.
mentors told me, if you read Revelations, you realize all God is trying to do is just get us back to the beginning of Genesis. That's it. He's trying to get us exactly how Genesis was. That's how he wants us to. That's exactly what he wants. It's good. Yeah, kid you not, one of the most wisest men I've ever met. And he was the reason why I got on my journey with Christ in the first place in high school. He was my one of my administrators. But if it weren't for him, I would not even be in this type of position right now.
But yeah.
Yeah,
I just personally, especially like Ezekiel too, I always think like, is this man writing the thing because he's with God and God is showing him all the kingdoms of
yeah,
all the places in heaven. I'm just like, how is he
yeah,
writing this? But he's saying all these great stuff. I'm just like, oh my gosh. But like, I really, the Bible is such like, I don't even want to call it like a story. It's a poem, like a big poem of just God's words about God's love, educating his people. And
real,
even
yeah,
now, after millions of years, I would say this because it's from the beginning of time. God still loves us, even when we even persecuted him. Like it says
yes,
in the Bible that God made the world, but the world did not know him. And I was just like, wow. Like you created a world and the world did not know you. Something that you created that doesn't even recognize you. And yet persecuted you. And you died for these people. And yet you still love them. It's just so how deep the love of God is and how much he wants us to succeed no matter our circumstances or no matter who we are, whatever we sin, because
yes.
God always loves us. And his blood cleanses us from our sins. But in wrapping up this interview, I always ask my people who come into the show a little funny question that I always ask, but I wanted to know what is your favorite bowl of noodles?
You gonna hate me. I don't got one no more. I don't.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I don't. But if we're talking about me back in 2015, it had to be ramen noodles. I'm talking
Noodles.
about I'm talking about the you know exactly the chicken flavored ones.
Yep.
Those when I was a kid, those I used to eat those a lot. Mix the chicken with the beef. I did not know I was killing myself at that time. Now I because that's just a lot of sodium and salt. But now I don't even touch noodles. I'm very healthy, clean. I can't do it. But
No,
back then, oh yeah, give me about 2, 3 packs of those. Now I used to try to
mm-mm.
make my own noodles. I was loved it. It was just trying to make my own ramen. I think we even got a ramen recipe in that recipe book. Yeah.
Trust me. I love noodles. I love all types of noodles. I have like mac and cheese. I love my some like
Yeah.
Cajun noodles, all types of noodles, but I hate pesto. That's one noodles I hate.
Dang, we didn't even get there. Yeah, mac and cheese. That's definitely
Mac
up
and cheese.
there.
Yeah.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
I love. I make a mean Alfredo. My
Oh,
Alfredo with salmon. Love that.
chicken Alfredo.
Yeah.
top
Have
tier.
you ever had Alfredo out of a It's like a. I mean, I used to do like sweet Alfredo in a
Mm-mm.
pineapple bowl.
No.
Yeah, it's so
Now that's
different.
I gotta try that. I gotta
Yeah,
try that.
yeah,
But
like a sweet teriyaki. Yeah, that's
that
good.
sounds good. I just
What?
wanted to know if you have any last words for our audience who are watching this, any last messages, or even so a prayer that you want to like say, anything that you want.
Man, look, y'all stop being hard on yourselves. I'm really saying this for myself. It's really not for y'all, but y'all just listen, okay? Stop being hard on yourselves. Y'all are putting too much pressure on yourselves. We are young. We should not be stressing like this. I should not be 19 and feeling like I'm 25, 30, thinking I got it all. Like I feel like I should have been had it figured out. You're not gonna have it figured out, and you gotta realize that it's okay. You don't need to stress because it's gonna come together, and you have to have faith. If you continue to have faith intact, you're gonna be perfectly fine. I promise you that.
Amen.
But just continue to keep God there. Don't let him go. The moment you let him go, have fun trying to find him again, because it ain't gonna be easy. And
And
that's
nah,
really, and when I say that, I mean find that light. And when you find that light, don't let it go. Because already in your spirit, it's already dark. And it's your job to find the light that he's put inside of you. Once you find that light, keep it on as long as possible. Because it's not going to die out as long as you keep it with you.
right.
That's all I got to say. I don't got much to say. That's about it.
Thank you, Jaden, so much for just
Of
being on
course.
the podcast. Your words are very wise, and only by the grace of God that I had this privilege to talk to you and hear
Of
you, because
course.
your words touched me to my soul, and I know that God had that for a reason,
Of
that
course.
this would come. And thank you so much.
Of course. I appreciate you for your time. I'm about to get into baking actually. So you be safe. You be blessed. I appreciate you. And hopefully we can do this again soon.